Joy 99.7 FM.
It's 1 o'clock, time for the Joy Business Report. Coming up this afternoon, Bank of Ghana assures of instituting measures to deal and reduce fraud cases in the banking and financial sector. And IMF stresses that Ghana will only secure expected benefits from its fund program after timely conclusion of debt restructuring with creditors. Meanwhile, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene calls for transparency and closure as government contemplates another round of a domestic debt exercise with creditors. I am Beverly Broom. Let's settle for the details now. The Bank of Ghana has assured that it has taken the necessary measures to deal and reduce fraud cases in the banking sector. It's coming after a new report by the Bank of Ghana revealed that banks lost more than $50 million in losses from fraud and over $20 million from mobile money transactions in 2022. Dr. Fred Francis is head of financial stability at the Bank of Ghana.
It's not just the publishing of the reports. Before we get to the publishing of the reports, ongoing basis, there are structures that we have put in place to handle these things. But I always say that you are dealing with stakeholders, and that most of them are, you can't handle them. So it's better you educate the public to do the right thing than to leave them, for them to grope in the dark and invent themselves. So asking them with the right information or empowering them with the right information, we think it's better than just leave it there.
Dr. Fred Francis is the head of financial stability at the Bank of Ghana. Now, the IMF has indicated that timely conclusion of debt restructuring with creditors will help Ghana secure the expected benefit of the fund program. This was captured in the statement issued by the IMF staff after they concluded their mission visit to Ghana. There's more in the following report.
Ghana is struggling to realize the full benefit of the IMF program. Despite securing the deal last month, the Ghana cedi hasn't witnessed the expected sharp appreciation against the US dollar, as well as the expected donor inflow. But the IMF believes that a major stumbling block are delays in reaching a deal with creditors on restructuring of Ghana's debts. Based on the conclusion of this staff visit, this should pave the way for Ghana's first program review on November 1 this year, with the next tranche of funds to be disbursed to Ghana.
That was a report put together by George Riafi. Now, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene has expressed worry government may struggle to get the buy-in of both domestic and external creditors in its quest to embark on a second round of the domestic debt exchange program. Speaking in an interview on Upfront on the Joy News channel, Dr. Ituahene urged government to be more proactive with information on the second round of the debt restructuring.
Transparency and openness and high disclosure is very, very, very important in debt restructuring, because people will tell you that you're not trustworthy, then you have a big challenge. So I believe that the word that we said, let us be transparent in everything we do. Don't let us behave like a headmaster and a people, not a doctor. And these days, it's not even a doctor and a patient. Now, a patient has every right, maybe in other jurisdictions, not here. A patient will ask you all the questions he have to ask you, and you, doctor, will have to tell him. It's not when you've taken money and you want to restructure it from 2027, maturing 2027 to mature 2038 in 15 years' time. In other jurisdictions, they do what we call index linking.
We do some more stories now, and the Ghana Chamber of Mines has expressed worries over the lack of interest shown by the government in protesting the extractive sector of the economy from attacks. The chamber said government must show some concerns in addressing security issues bedeviling the activities of the sector. Speaking to journalists, Chief Executive Officer of the chamber, Suleiman Akoni, said a neglect of the industry could affect revenue generated from the sector.
Without a secured mine, you can't have development. In fact, you can't have GATE, you can't have EITI. Because where are the revenues going to come from? So we expect GATE to also show some interest around the security situations around mining companies. In the last few days, we've had conversations about how mining companies are being attacked left, right, center. And we would want a conversation around that as well. Because without a semblance of tranquility around security, mining companies can never focus on their core business of mining the resources for us.
The board chair of the Aviation Youth Monitoring Program, Ida Mehari, has encouraged Ghanaian youth to take up careers in the aviation industry. Speaking to Joy Business at the Aviation Career Day, Ida stated that there exist a lot of career opportunities in the aviation sector that can benefit Ghana's economy.
Aviation doesn't have a lot of engineers, pilots. We're short and staff. If we are continuing this way the next 10, 15 years. So we are here to activate the youngsters' brain to say aviation is open for everybody. It's not only for science, it's not only for pilots. There is multiple jobs. This is our first interaction with Ghanaian students.
Moving on, managing consultant Theodore Albright is advocating for entrepreneurs to nurture little opportunities on the African continent to build giant businesses despite the challenges faced by small businesses. He is of the view that businesses can harness the gains of the continental free trade area by collaborating. Mr. Albright was speaking at the Maiding Building Enduring Businesses Conference organized by the LVS Africa in Accra.
Africa represents an opportunity which, if harnessed and nurtured, will allow us to the so-called developed. And that is why I hark on about Africa. But I accept that Africa is not a unit state. Regarding why the Ghanaian entrepreneur doesn't succeed or is not able to scale, there are multiple factors. I'm not going to address them here today.
To agriculture now, and some stakeholders in the agri sector are urging government to invest in agroecology. Now, agroecology is the use of environmentally sustainable practices in food production. Speaking on the sidelines of a national policy dialogue on agroecology, National President of the Peasant Farmers Association, WEPA, Awal Adugwala, emphasized that agroecology is among many alternatives to improve agriculture.
This time is very important because the cost of chemical inputs is very expensive. It started from 2021. We saw the Russia-Ukraine war came. There was a disruption in the supply line. Fertilizers were not coming. The fuels that were in the market were very expensive. And most of our farmers could not afford. And the implication was that most of the farmers who couldn't afford have to reduce their farm size. And once their farm size were reduced, it also led to production reduced. And it's not surprising, last year, the general inflation we're seeing in the country, a greater component of it was driven by food inflation.
That was National President of the Peasant Farmers Association, Awal Adugwala. Now, traditionally in Ghana, most poultry reared for their eggs and meat are usually kept in battery cages. In today's Business Journal, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports on how cage farming affects the poultry growth and production as activists and veterinarians demand a ban on battery cages.
Retailing poultry has been a source of livelihood for Achama for nearly a decade now. As one of the sole vendors at the Eja market, she sources her animals from various farms in and around the Ashanti region. The live birds, upon arriving from the farm, are kept in her makeshift cage on the streets of the market.
Some of the hens, especially the white ones, aren't active. Theirs is just to eat and to drink water.
Chicken production rose from 20.5 million to 74.5 million over the last 2 decades, of which more than 25 million are reportedly housed in traditional battery cages in Ghana. Conventionally in Ghana, poultry commercially reared for their meat and eggs are confined in cages. Abna Kwedu, also a vendor, believes the restricted animals are rarely infested with diseases.
It's not good to leave them to walk about. They can be infested with diseases. You only need to feed them and they will be okay.
At the just ended Say No to Cages workshop held in Kumasi, veterinarians and some poultry farmers advocated a ban on battery cages. The Animal Welfare League, a not-for-profit organization, believes caging the animals affects their welfare. Director of the association, Dr. Daniel Abiliba, says it is an abuse to keep poultry in restrictive cages.
Imagine you living your life, your entire life, 52 weeks or more in a sheet of paper. The space that is allowed to you is an A4 sheet of paper. In battery cages and all forms of factory farming that uses restrictive housing system, these animals are being abused. And as consumers, we need to also be worried about where our animals are coming from.
Aside from the torture the caged animals are subjected to, veterinary doctor Dr. Emmanuel Piru says caging contributes to the growing record of antibacterial resistance in the poultry industry.
When you keep birds also in the battery cage system, they are prone to diseases, and those diseases are example are osteoporosis and layer fatigue. All these are examples of diseases that the birds in the cage system go through. And why this is even more important is that when birds in this system go through, they are sick, what we tend to use is to use antibiotics to give to the birds. And this is also part of one of the reasons that is causing antimicrobial resistance, which is a big problem globally, where our antibiotics are no more becoming effective.
Presently, Ghana has no legislation banning the use of battery cages. Only 6 countries, including the European Union and US, across the globe have imposed bans on battery cages in poultry farming. The group is preparing to lay a petition before Parliament for the adoption of cage-free farming. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Do follow us on all our social media pages, including LinkedIn. Let's take a message now from EcoBank. Do you receive your salary in an account that gives you more? Is your salary in the right account? No worries. We are here to help. Just open an EcoBank salary account and enjoy amazing benefits like free life insurance, which provides cover for death, permanent total disability, critical illness, hospitalization, temporal disability, and retrenchment. With the EcoBank salary account, you can enjoy the ability to save as you spend, free debit card, access to loans, and a lot more. And the best part is you stand the chance to win double your salary in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. So open an EcoBank salary account and enjoy all these benefits that comes with it. For inquiries on the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded and the EcoBank salary account, call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003225. Please note that EcoBank would never call you for your Ghana card information or mobile app PIN or ask you to pay more money before your account is credited as a winner in this promotion. The only call you'll receive is to inform you that you have won in this promotion and your account has been credited. You are not required to pay money in this promotion to receive your prize. When in doubt, visit any of our branches. Terms and conditions apply. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. My name is Beverly Broom. Game Plan is next here on Joy 99.7 FM. Please stay.